everybody, welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube and Twitch channels. I hope you're all having a good Tuesday. That's what day it is. It's Tuesday. I even put it in the title. I hope you're all having a good Tuesday. Sorry I'm late. We're under a heat advisory. So I've got both my kids home because just like in a wind chill advisory, I'm not going to make them walk to school in a heat warning. So I was getting them situated and everything, so I do apologize for being a bit late, but I am here. So I hope you're all having a good Tuesday, that you all have your coffees ready to go, and that we're all ready for some trauma. Because I've got a couple of videos hung over from yesterday, plus some from some new stuff for today. And question period at the end, because I checked the beginning of it yesterday, and it looked pretty spicy. So I figured we could at least go through question period. Like skip through it and see what there is to see. So, I hope everyone is doing well. Ready for some Traumatic Tuesday shenanigans. And it's thank you, Spittlebuggies. You rock. Thank you for popping in to say that. You are awesome. So, I need to fix my chair again. There we go. So, I've just been sitting here. I am today just feeling very tired, and I'm not entirely sure why. I got a good amount of sleep. So, please bear with me. I am feeling rather sluggish, but we will... Yelling for mom countdown clock started. That's a good bet there, Duck Dog. That's a good bet. Oh God. Well, and summer break is coming up soon too, right? So that'll be happening a lot. Because I'm not suspending the stream, because they're at an age now where I don't need to be like constantly looking after them and looking and being like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? So it's not like it was when they were younger. I do not need to cancel the stream for the summer, thankfully, because that was really hurting the channel. Oh, this is so good. I've got some light roast coffee going on right now, and it is tasty, and it's needed. Considering that I am tired. Holy shit. I don't even know why. Like I said, I got a good amount of sleep. It's probably just because of how warm it is. Like, even in the house, we've got the house at 20 degrees Celsius, which I'm not sure what that is. It's like, I think it's like 68 or 66, something like that. But we keep the house at a reasonable temperature. When we're doing it with just fans, right? We don't have AC, we don't have central air or anything like that. But it's an older house, so it keeps the cool air nice, like inside in the summer, and it keeps the warm air inside in the winter. But yeah, I think it's just the fact that it's so hot that I'm just tired. It's annoying. Very annoying. So, Unless it's above 106 Fahrenheit or 41 Celsius, we don't get a heat advisory here. We probably won't. Well, it's 30 something. What is it? It's in the 30s here, Fahrenheit, but I think the humidity is putting it over 40. Because remember, we're surrounded by all the Great Lakes, right? So it's all the humidity from that water. Because the Great Lakes are pretty much giant freshwater oceans. Yeah, humidity sucks. It very much becomes quite similar to like a Florida climate from what I understand. It's very, very humid. It gets rivers and swamps. And like we have a lot of fresh water around us. So it does get very humid. Now, I must say though that moving out of the big city and into like a smaller rural area has definitely affected the heat for the better. I feel like a hot day out here is much, much better than a hot day in the big city. And it can be the same temperature in both places, but it'll just feel like comparatively different out in the rural, like more open, less smoggy area than it did back in the bigger city. It's very interesting, the difference between, like, because I spent my whole life living in a large city until we moved out here, and it's much different. The temperature, like even in the winter time, it's different. It's very, very, very interesting. And it's kind of weird because where we are, we it's just it's an interesting weather phenomenon. All right. Enough about the weather. Let's get into the trauma, shall we? So let's go first to our videos from yesterday that we didn't cover. So apparently Sneeko started a fight with somebody. I'm shocked. Is anyone else shocked that Sneeko started a fight with somebody? Because I say I'm shocked, but like I'm really the antithesis of that. Sneeko started a fight with somebody, and he got his shit rocked, and now he's bitching about it. And Ava and Preach are going to tell us about it because I enjoy their reactions to things. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the main reasons why I watch Ava and Preach is they not only do they disseminate some information that I don't get, but they do it in a way that makes me laugh. So I not only react to the shit that they are telling us, but I also react to them because they're just funny.
Sound check, please.
Like this.
Yeah. Y'all getting some ASMR today. It sounds good.
It's all good.
Yeah, I like the way you breathe.
Boys being boys.
So, today's video.
Yeah, because you are in a good shape.
Well, you know what happened? I was out dancing. I was having, a good time doing gay shit with girls.
I was having a good time doing gay shit with girls. For those of you who don't get that, fucking Myron, fucking Sneeko, all those red-pilled assholes, anytime Like anytime you want to like hang out with chicks and you know do normal straight guy shit with chicks, that's gay. It's apparently not gay to like cuddle in bed with your bro and cuddle in bed with your bro, like spoon in bed with your bro. That's apparently not gay, but living or like going clubbing and dancing with girls and stuff, that's gay. I live at the head end of an estuary. I can drive less than 15 miles and the temperature will swing 10 degrees in either direction. Oh god. That's fun. That's fun, Duck Dog. So, yeah. Abba was out doing gay shit with girls.
You know how it is. Salsa dancing.
Boys. No, that's not.
And if you want to find more of that footage, you know, I got on my Instagram.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was doing that gay shit with the girls. So I come home, you know what I mean? Had a little bit of... thinking the party's over.
A little bit of that soju.
Then someone sent me some of the best footage I ever seen in my life.
Oh god, so Abba just had himself the best night ever. He went dancing. He got himself some. We all know what that was. We all know what that little gap in the conversation was just now. Good morning, Perky Pokey. And so Abba got himself some, and then after he got himself some, he's scrolling his phone and he got himself some of the best footage ever. So, he had a good night.
Okay, and then I realized, man, the party ain't over, it's just getting started. Sneeko, Cucko, got himself into a little situation with a man. You know, straight shit.
What the fuck? Fuck you, fuck, dude, there's a whole a crowd chanting. What the fuck? There's a whole ass crowd chanting fuck you.
Holy!
Jesus Christ!
Holy!
Sneeko just got himself fucked up, and there's like a whole crowd of people just fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Holy shit! What the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, Ava, please, for me and Preach's sake, give us some context.
We got Sneeko here. He's got this busted up tooth. Smile for me, man. This was the security guard at this thing, at this event, right up here. Right up here. We got this guy jumped off the stage. No one attacked this guy. Punched Sneeko in the face. No one touched him. He jumped off the stage, hit Sneeko in the face. I watched the whole thing happen. This was just right now? Just now. The guy
Wait.
Sneeko in the face. I watched the whole thing happen. In the face. No one touched him. He jumped off the stage, hit Sneeko in the face. I watched the whole thing happen. This was just right now?
Just now. The guy that he shut off the speech to go play his music, he just got rocked in the face. But I'm a non-violent person. You know, I care about America first. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, man. We'll take it through the legal necessary ways we got to do, because
So he's claiming that they were at an event and the person on the stage jumped off the stage and just hit him for no reason. And he's got a busted up tooth now. So they're gonna pursue like legal action. That's what I just got from that clip.
legal and necessary routes. They're going to sue him, is what they're saying.
Well, which is
Fair?
I mean, everybody sues everybody in the States.
Yeah, but
I can't.
you think you saying something and then you getting attacked is okay?
I don't know. I couldn't hear and I wasn't there. There's a lot of things missing.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I couldn't hear what Sneeko was saying. That was the music was really loud. The audio wasn't that great. I wasn't sure what he said. It was even hard to tell that it was him. I really don't know whether, like, it depends on, honestly, it depends on what he said.
Pay attention. What's that?
Someone took his cat.
I'm gonna slow it back for you.
What was that hand?
That's a man with a hoodie.
We got Sneeko here.
Who's wearing a hoodie?
He's got this busted up tooth. Smile for me, man.
So that's 2 videos on 2 that someone's messing with someone else.
He smacked his hat off.
So Sneeko took his hat.
Did we tell you, motherfuckers, last week? You saw this security guy was just going, whatever, I don't care what y'all got to say. You smacked his hat off, and this man Falcon punched you.
So again, so what I was talking about, there was a guy last week at a gym who, he was like this tiny little fucker, and he walks up and he takes this bodybuilder's hat and he puts it on, and the guy's like, give me back my hat, and he won't give him back his hat. So the guy goes, give me back my hat, and he doesn't, and he goes, give me back my fucking hat, right on his face. And then little guy, obviously, he gives him, and his buddy's like, you fuck around and find out, dude, because he was like, you're gonna let him hit me like that? And his buddy's like, dude, fuck around and find out. What do you want me to do? And he's complaining and going, oh, my head hurts. I think I might have a concussion. Right? But, so this is the second video in a week where somebody has messed with somebody's hat. And gotten rocked. Why are we messing with people's hats?
This man went through 2 dimensions, multiverse, entered and exited, and punched the shit out of your face. Sent your teeth back in time to when you was a baby and you was buck teeth.
It's a general rule. Like, for those who think that it's really about the hat, it's not about the hat. Because people are going to think and say, it's very futile that it's a hat. You guys are very comfortable putting your hands on people you don't know.
Yes. What is with that? I'm gonna take this to being blind. I am. Because that's my channel. Right? That's what I do. That's my channel. I'm Blind Press. Right? My whole life, there are so many strangers that think that because I'm blind, that it's okay that they can just put their hands on me. And I don't necessarily mean in a violent way, just like they assume that I don't know where I'm going, so they just grab me. Or on a bus, they can't verbalize where the empty seat is, so they physically drag me across the moving bus. And like I lose my balance and then I end up hurting my back or something. Or the people who are like, oh, you must need help crossing the street. And they like physically loop their arm through my arm. And I'm like, no, please let go of me. Like, all of these things have happened to me. And it's like, it's societally, I have noticed that more and more people think it's okay to just touch people. And now, like, before it used to just be like, if you're disabled in some way, that people would feel that they had some license to put their hands on you. But now it really just seems to be a societal thing where, like, especially, I'm gonna say it, especially like Gen Z thinks that Gen Z and in extension Gen Alpha thinks that it's okay that they can just touch people. And the fucked up thing is that Sneeko is like almost millennial. Fucking Zerka, the shit with Zerka is cringy as fuck, because he's part of the millennial generation, but that's a different story.
And I think it is like a clash of generation or whatever, whatnot. But you guys are very It's not about the hat. The hat. Whatever I'm wearing is an extension of me. You guys are comfortable touching people. And that's probably one of the reasons why whenever you see two people having a confrontation and they're face to face, oftentimes they go like this, right? Because this, if I'm bumping you to my chest, it's like a rule. I'm not touching you. But the minute you push me or you put your hands on someone, don't. Especially insecure.
Especially if you're angry. You don't put your hands on somebody when you're angry. That is, like, even if you're, like, there is a connotation. Like, when you, even if you rest your hands on somebody's shoulders when you're pissed off with them, there's a connotation of, I am angry with you, and if I wanted to, I could do something. And it's just, you don't put your hands on somebody when you're angry, like, especially when you're in a confrontation.
Security, you flick his hat? I'm not saying that he had the right to do that, but you guys are very comfortable putting your hands on people.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And here's the thing, I don't care about proportionality, not to this degree, because this is within the acceptable bounds. It's not like someone took off his hat and then he started shooting. No, you put your hands on him, so he punched you in your face.
Yeah. You put your hands on him, he hit you. Like, he didn't bring out a weapon, he didn't axe kick you across the event. He punched you once. That's, I think, is a fair and balanced reaction to what you did.
You don't want to get punched in your face, don't put your hands on people.
Yeah.
And this is why I laugh at all these goofy guys who always talk about, I want to box, I'm training, all this other stuff. You realize that the best form of self-defense you can have...
Oh, it is very frustrating, Perky. It is... Especially when people assume that I don't know where I'm going, and I do, and they're like, "No, you're." This used to happen a lot in the city I lived in. It doesn't happen now that I've moved to a smaller area. People tend to, if it looks like I'm okay, they just tend to leave me alone. And they're very receptive if I ask for help. But in the larger city, it was very much you're blind, therefore you're broken, and you don't know what you're doing. And it was very, very annoying. I'm not gonna lie, it was extremely frustrating.
Have is discernment. It's realizing when to not fuck around so you don't have to find out.
Yeah.
It's realizing how to walk away. But these stupid people think because they took a boxing class or they sat in the ring with an MMA dude that they're somehow tough. Mm-hmm. You're a dumbass. And I'm glad, because I get to show this kind of evidence to every young person in America and the rest of the world and say, hey guys.
Don't do that.
You want to know how much of a coward Sneeko is? And these rest of these guys are? They talk about masculinity, traditionalism, all this other stuff. They put their hands on people, get smacked, which is accountability. And then when they're interviewed after the fact, they're like,
this guy jumped off the stage. No one attacked this guy. Punched Nico in the face.
Him.
No one.
But I'm a non-violent person.
you dumbass, you initiated the physical contact. And then afterwards, you want to pretend like you didn't do nothing.
Yeah. There was the same with the guy in the gym when he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. It's like, dude, you took somebody's hat. What do you expect? You took somebody's hat and wouldn't give it back, and then he slapped you one time. Sneeko flicked somebody's hat off. He got punched one time. What do you expect is going to happen? Like, all of these people just, they act so entitled to people's space.
This is like the women who get up in people's faces and put their hands on them and get smacked. I know these red pill losers would be out here being like, you deserved it. Yeah, try me. Yeah, suck me. Try me. Yeah, that's you. That is literally you doing the most bitch-made thing I've ever seen. You put your hands on somebody, now you're talking about you want to sue.
And of course, and you know what else these red pill guys will do? They'll probably be the first one to put their hands on a woman too.
Is this masculinity?
Take your L and go home. Sleep it off. You guys feel like you have the right to piss off people, but the people you piss off don't have the right to be pissed off.
What were they doing just before he did that? What were they doing? They were flipping him the bird. They were screaming at him, right? So what are they doing?
When he asked to leave. When he asked them to
security
leave.
tells you to leave, you want to get mouthy.
Yeah.
So security gets mouthy with you. Same level.
You want to get physical?
So who escalated?
Well, he did. He touched it.
And then this motherfucker had the audacity to get on camera with a bloody nose and say, I'm a nonviolent person. I did nothing. And it's almost insulting to me because they try to teach men how to be men.
Yeah. That's their whole shtick, is they're trying to, quote, teach young men how to live life and how to tackle the hard things in life, and this is how they behave, and they can't take exception, like they can't take accountability for the stupid shit that they do.
And every turn when they have a real life situation and shit gets stressful, they act so bitch made, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
This man, I'll say this about the security guard too, he didn't even hesitate. You disrespected him, you put your hands on him, the dude jumped into a hostile crowd and didn't give up.
Nope. He was like, no, fuck this. You're done. That's what he's like, you're done. And he didn't go all crazy Hulk on him. He just hit him once. Fair, measured response.
Look at this. Look at this.
I just want to see.
The dude jumped like Kratos. How can I be mad at him?
Kratos jumped like him.
Like, it's very...
Kratos jumped like him. That's great. That's great. Oh.
This is the kind of thing that every young boy dreams about when they get disrespected by the teacher.
Yeah, 100%.
Next time I see that...
Just every child.
He actually hopped off. Now, how can I be mad? You know what? Let me say this right now. If you're watching the security guard and they actually try to sue you, contact me. I'll take care of your legal fees. I got time. I'm bored.
Oh, wow. And he means it. He means it. He means it. He will.
I'm bored. And
he is bored.
I want to own a memorabilia of this. I want a painting done. I want a fan to make me a painting of this. I'll hang it up on this wall. You know what I want to call it? I'll call it painting accountability.
I think, you know
Yeah.
what? You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Hold on.
You know what? I'm going to turn it to the legal fund for accountability. I think that's what I'm going to do.
The legal fund for accountability. Oh, God. I like that. Ava. That's a good one.
I like that idea. You guys like that idea?
I think
I've been drinking, so I might have second thoughts in the morning. But
I'm just drinking, so I might be... Oh shit, this is actually still the same night? Oh fuck.
I like that idea.
That was a beautiful punch.
That's a beautiful moment.
That was a beautiful punch. It was all instinct too. It was right there. You didn't have to think about it. It was what? You're not gonna yank.
Yeah. 2024 is a new year. All you nuisances, all you pranksters, hey man, y'all about to get your comeuppance. Everybody.
It's true though. Like, this is the year where all the shitty people seem to be getting theirs. Like, we've, from idiots like Sneeko all the way up to fucking politicians. Everybody seems to just be getting exposed.
Everybody want to fuck around and find out, y'all about to get it. I'm on my cat energy right now. Cat said all you big dick deviants about to get exposed. All you streamers, all you motherfuckers about to catch hands with some random people. And I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to pay their legal fund. I think that's my goal for this year. You know what? I was going to invest this in a GIC or some kind of like index fund. But fuck it. Life is short. Life is short, bro.
I like Drunk Abba. This is good. We need to have Drunk Abba more.
Oh,
I don't know what's
This
going on
is
with
fun.
it's a bit of the soju. It's a bit of the soju. But the party's
The preacher's like, oh god, no, this is bad. Abba, put the bottle down.
lit right now.
the soldier got you talking.
The party's lit right now. But the party's lit right now.
The soldier got you talking.
The party's lit
This
right now.
so yeah, he's whatever you've been drinking, it's got you
And
talking.
you know what's so funny? He was rolling with Jake Shields with just like some MMA guy turned like conservative, like potato brain. And when this happened, this dude didn't even throw hands. He just let it happen.
Why would he throw hands?
He didn't even try to defend.
Why
Sneeko.
would he? Why would?
I'm just saying they bitch made. If I see my dude get Kratos, get 300.
Get 300.
If you get 300 in front of me,
Kratos.
no. If a motherfucker jumps off the second story, third story, it's gonna get higher because I want to keep making up the story. If a motherfucker jump off the Empire State Building and Falcon punches you,
King Kong.
you think it just ends there? I'm throwing hands too.
Jesus, this is great. I'm so glad I'm watching this right now. Oh my god. Ugh, Drunk Abba is funny.
And if you out cold, then I like yo, nigga, you good? I can't. If he knocked you out with one punch, like I can't take him. You know?
No, you can't. You definitely.
But I'll be like, hey nigga, you good? And then I'll put like smelling salts and shit. I'm like, come back to us. We need you.
Smelling salts. Oh my god. Preach. Get Abba drunk more if you're watching.
I let preach can't die. We got money to make. I love it, and I'm gonna celebrate this. And anybody who says, "Oh, Abba, you guys hate women," do you guys see how we talk about dudes getting punched the fuck out? I keep the same energy, my people.
Oh, the energy is the same.
Patch
If
notes.
you want to mess around, I will celebrate the fact that you get smacked, man or woman.
Yeah.
Y'all need to stop playing with people. Y'all need to keep your fucking hands to yourselves.
Yeah.
And you need to learn some goddamn manners when you're addressing people in public.
Facts.
I'm outside all the time. I'm at public events where if people wanted to jump me, it would be very easy because I'm alone and I'm just out here doing things because I enjoy it. But you know what? When I'm in public, I'm incredibly respectful. I'm on my business and I just go and enjoy myself. And if someone tells me to leave, I walk away. I don't flip the bird. I ain't never touched someone's hat. I ain't never thought about touching nobody's hat.
No, I'm very like I think there was one time a couple of weeks ago where I actually helped the people at the dollar store checkout because there was some lady and I think she was trying to return something and she wasn't even in the line to be helped at checkout. She was just standing near the impulse aisles at the front. And she starts yelling about if somebody else worked or was working. And because the kid at the front was helping me, he didn't answer her. And she's like screaming. She's like, "Hello? Does anyone else work here?" And he's like, "Yes." And she's like, "Well, call them." He's like, ignores her because he's still checking me out. And she's like, "There's a microphone right there. Call them." He's like, I'm in the middle of something. I will call them in a moment." And she's screaming at this kid. He's like just this like in his 20s kid just doing his job. And finally, like, cuz he's trying to bag up my stuff for me. And finally, I turn to her and I'm like, "Are you more blind than I am? He's busy. Give him a second." And she, like, but it's just like people have no manners in public anymore. It's insane.
And guess what? I make it home every day and I get to sit here with a clean, clear face, Tej Henley. Huh? and I get to laugh at Sneeko getting cut the fuck out.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's crazy.
I never have to worry about these problems because you know what I got? The #1 self-defense tool. What's that?
Walking away.
Discernment.
Walking away.
A little bit of judgment. Oh, this looks like a situation that could escalate. Let me not put my hands on anybody and let me go the fuck home so I could sleep with women and do that gay shit.
What did you think was gonna happen when you flicked that hat off?
Right? Like, you flicked his hat off. Like, how disrespectful could you be? Like, holy shit. That's almost more insulting than having somebody just take your hat. Have somebody go boop and flick your hat off. That would piss me off. Sneeko is a non-violent person. Yeah, get these clips. Like, yeah, right? You've watched me do that in real time? Yes, I have. The guy that slapped a kid in the gym is a world-renowned bodybuilder. Yes! Alright, see you later, Spittle. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, these... Oh, man. Drunk Ava, though. I like this. I like when Ava drinks. This is funny.
I want to know what the thought process is. What did you think was the next step after that?
He would give him a hug. That's what he thought.
It's just I don't understand. I don't comprehend. Like, I understand that there is a ramification to my actions. You understand what I'm saying?
See, that's because you understand, Preach. You don't stand under. That's the problem. These guys stand under things.
And when I flick ahead, like, I know something.
That's your mistake.
That's my mistake.
You know what your mistake
That
is?
is my mistake. Common sense.
No. Your mistake is thinking that he thought. Your mistake is thinking that he thought before he did.
Yep.
But he did and never think.
He was impulsive. He was entitled. That's why they were flipping the bird.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why they even started with the whole flipping the bird and being assholes in the first place. Because they just didn't think.
I wouldn't even flip the bird at people in public. Big, small, don't matter. I never do that. But they felt brave. Why? Because they was in their group acting goofy.
I think the only time I've done that is somebody almost hit me. And I did it. Like, somebody almost hit me in their car and I flipped them off. Somebody almost hit me and my little sister once while I was crossing the street with her coming back from day camp, and I hit their car with my cane because they almost hit me. And yeah, it's
So they flipped the bird. And you know some people stupid. If they're willing to do one dumb thing and they get away with it, why not do a second?
He can't take all of us.
Hey,
Yep.
fuck you. No, fuck you. And then one nigga has to go, yo, f your mama.
He doesn't need to take all of you.
Yeah, anything else? All right, that being said, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you
That's the thing. That's the whole group dynamic is you can't take all of us, you can't take all of it. They don't need to. They just need to rock the shit out of one of you. And the rest of you will come back down to earth and go, oh fuck. You know what I mean? Like the one person getting their teeth knocked in, either literally or figuratively, is the social demonstration it's the societal demonstration of what gravity looks like, because you can watch in real time the group dynamic completely fold when one person in the group gets their crap knocked in. And it's very, very interesting to actually witness that stuff. Like, just to see it in real time, where people just, they're so full of themselves, and then their buddy gets his ass kicked, and they're like, oh fuck. Right? You know, what the hell? It kind of like individualizes everybody again. If you know what I mean? Instead of instead of solidifying the group dynamic, it kind of shatters it and makes everybody an individual again, and then they individually go, I don't want that to happen to me. Right? And then, you know, nothing happens. And it's an interesting thing psychologically. Stupid Sneeko. So, mom had an OnlyFans. YouTuber exposed her kid. Why the hell would the YouTuber expose the child? That's not okay. I don't agree with that. And this is again from Abba and Preach. So you know what? Let's I didn't see that this was from Abba and Preach too, so you know what? We're gonna spread the Abba and Preach out. We're going to do the billionaire sentenced to death for massive fraud first. Because Kira's gonna tell us about it. I like Kira. But I don't want to have back-to-back videos from the same content creator, so yeah, we're not gonna do that. Because that's never fun. We want to break things up a bit.
There's a lot of anti-bank sentiment in the West, and obviously for good reason. But if you ever want to look at how bad it can be in different parts of the world, well, look no further than Southeast Asia.
Oh boy. Yeah, Southeast Asia can get pretty interesting for punishments and crimes and punishments.
Sun, sandy beaches, tropical fruits, cool architecture, lovely people, vastly different cultures. Oh, and rampant corruption.
Yeah. Rampant corruption, ridiculous punishments for small things. Yeah, it's nuts.
Not just on a political level, but on a societal, cultural level. Corruption, accessible for all. That's what you'll find. But that's being broad, so let's get into specifics. How about the largest bank fraud in recorded history?
Oh. Like, ever? Okay, that's... Okay. This is new. I don't think I've ever heard of the largest fraud in recorded history.
The story of Trung My Lan and the $44 billion fraud that saw her and 82 more people, including her husband and niece, found guilty and sentenced to prison.
Holy shit! $44 billion scam? How have I never heard of this?
Well, everyone except her was sentenced to prison. She was sentenced to a much harsher punishment, death by lethal injection. But how did a 67-year-old Vietnamese property developer end up facing down
Fury Kitten
on the death penalty for a $44 billion fraud? And why is it that they gave a white-collar criminal such a harsh and permanent penalty? Is it justified? And most importantly, where the hell did that money go? Going back to the start wouldn't help us much here, since Lan didn't begin her life of super fraud until much later. Instead, let's talk a little bit about the Vietnamese government's path to this moment in history.
Okay.
Vietnam is a communist country, with the power residing in the hands of the Communist Party of Vietnam, or CPV for short.
Alright, so they are pretty much, it's Communist Party of China, Communist Party of Vietnam, okay.
Not to make this video political, because that's not why we're here, but Vietnam has been this way for longer than most of us watching the video have been alive. Being a one-party state, the opportunity for corruption is high at all levels of society, but even more so the higher up the political totem pole you look. After all, who's investigating you if you're the only one with power and can enforce any kind of punishment?
Literally nobody. This is why the Chinese government gets away with so much bullshit.
Some of the stats suggest that in 2018, Vietnam was the second most corrupt country in the world based on bribing of public officials, with the stat being around 65%, second only to India at 69%.
Jesus Christ, it's India. That's the only one that is more corrupt than Vietnam. India. That's crazy. That is insane.
This means that almost all government level interactions involve some form of bribery, which is not abnormal in the world depending on where you are, but certainly a shocking revelation if you're from the West.
It shouldn't be, because even Western government officials can be bought and bribed, as we can see in the fucking Canadian government with the lobbyists for the grocery store chains.
Low-level bribery aside, however, the real corruption that gripped Vietnam was always higher up, political, and ever-present. In 2016, as a response to this growing trend in the attention it was receiving in the world's media, the CPV General Secretary launched a campaign to tackle corruption in the country, labelling it as a blazing furnace. Of course, the "we investigate ourselves and find we did nothing wrong" meme can play a factor here, as well as speculation of using this as a front for a political cleansing of party members who they want out.
Oh, that's scary. And probably true.
Either way, this is what leads us to the main story. In their pursuit of a corruption crackdown, 2 state presidents, 2 deputy prime ministers, and dozens of other high-ranking politicians have stepped down from office, as well as hundreds of officials being jailed. An unprecedented level of change for the party, and one that plays heavily as we return to Mrs. Lan and her real estate business.
But is it an altruistic thing to do, or are they just doing it for their own our own benefits?
Now, in the 80s, she worked a market stall with her mother and sold cosmetics, using the profit to buy land, which led her to eventually owning substantial amounts of hotels and restaurants by the mid-90s. For the next 20 years, she continued her successful business of buying land and developing property, though technically the government owns all the land and you just have the right to use it.
Yeah, so why would she be buying all this land in a communist country? I don't understand that. What's the point? You don't even own it. You just have the right to be there for a bit, and then the government can come and take it from you.
They call it the people's land. Either way, she was incredibly wealthy and had high connections to people in Vietnamese government as a result. She even married an incredibly wealthy individual, a Hong Kong real estate developer, making a power couple and one of the richest families in Vietnam as a result.
How can you, again, with communism, isn't that supposed to not be allowed? This is the problem. Communism shouldn't allow this.
By 2010, she even owned 3 small banks called First Bank, Vietnam Tin Bank, and Saigon Bank, all of which were struggling, even ironically facing bankruptcy due to using customer deposits to loan money to high-risk real estate developments.
Oh, that's that's wow. Okay, so we have 3 banks that are basically stealing customers' money and investing it in shady investment. I should stop typing phonetically now.
Which, let's not forget, is what Lan's entire business was built upon as a real...
Oh, I should try to see how voiceover would read somebody like Hagrid from Harry Potter. because J.K. Rowling wrote him phonetically the way that he's with his like accent. I've always put him as Cockney.
Real estate developer. This should have been the red flags. This should have been the warning that things were probably not as they seem.
Kind of like Robbie Coltrane
Despite
did.
these facts, the Vietnamese central bank investigated and allowed a merger of those three banks into one entity.
Yeah, sure. You can merge all three of these shady banks into one. No problem. It'll be fine. Say the Vietnamese government.
Now called Saigon Joint Stock Commercial Bank, or SCB for short. Now, so far, up until this point in the story, everything seems, relatively normal. Unless you start asking questions like, what's in the sausage? For example, in Vietnam, no one person can own a bank by a matter of law.
Well, that's what I mean. How that should be anyway. Like, how could anybody just own a bank?
Individuals can own up to 5% shares in a bank, and yet, Lan had control of all three of these smaller banks. With the Vietnamese central bank backing the merger into SCB, this should have been noticed, and the new bank should have had a distinctly different divested ownership.
Yeah, how did they not see that she owned all three of these banks, and then gone like, no, that's not a good that. Wait, what? Market stall selling makeup, which ended up buying her owning right? I think Fury Kitten, she's got the underpants gnome way of becoming a land developer. Step 1, sell makeup. Phase 1, sell makeup. Phase 2, Phase 3, profit.
But instead, using hundreds of shell companies and dozens of individuals who signed at her behest acting as proxies, not only did Lan not own 5% of the bank, but she owned every decision the new and larger bank would make.
Yeah, that's not how that should work. Even in the West, I don't think that's how that should work. One person should not be like, yes, this is how this goes in the bank.
It was said...
Like, even the governor of the Bank of Canada, there's like a board of... There's like a whole, like, thing. Like, the governor doesn't just be like, interest rates stay the same. Or they go, like, it's not his sole decision. He's Southwest England. Plymouthian? What, Hagrid?
In the court documents that she owned over 90% of the bank, which is a pretty substantial number compared to 5. So let's keep in mind that this was in 2011 that SCB was formed, which means for the next 11 years, until she was arrested in 2022, an ambitious real estate developer had access to tens of billions of dollars in customer deposits.
Jesus Christ!
To do with as she saw fit.
She could literally, she was just like, I have the keys to everything. Like, oh my god. She could have owned anything she wanted to. Holy fuck. That's insane.
And that's exactly what she did for the next decade. Using her ownership of the bank, she hired managers at every level of the organisation who were there purely to do her bidding, and most importantly, to sign off on any loan that she put forward. The loans in question were almost always to one of her own businesses, set up with multiple layers of abstraction, using dozens, hundreds, even thousands of shell companies to create a web of fraud.
So she would fund her own businesses but like funnel the money through all these weird shell corporations to try to hide that she was getting, or that she was funding her businesses. Oh my. Apparently my missus says that my accent is close to Maritimes Canadian, but not sure. Well, Maritimes Canada even has a broad variety of accents, because the Nova Scotia and New Brunswick accent is interesting, and because it also has a bit of an undertone of Acadian and like to it. But then PEI has like almost the Scottish, and like parts of Nova Scotia do as well, have like a Scottish type of accent. And then there's Newfoundland thereby. Newfoundland is a totally different their accent. It's not quite Irish. It's not quite Scottish. It's not even pikey. Where are we here?
Essentially, the average person was depositing their money into the bank, assuming it was safe. It was being used in a variety
Lord
of lending
Thunder and
options to
Jesus
many clients.
thereby. That's what it is.
Supposed to know how an increase to the capital gains tax will affect you. Is it, as the finance
The
minister
hell?
suggests,
Why?
There's a lot of
There we go.
bank sentiment in the West, and obviously for good reason. But if you ever want to look at how bad it can be different,
Why did it do that?
as well as speculation of using this as a unprecedented stall with her mother and sold because of the Prime Minister's and does want out. Either way, this is what leads us to the main player
Okay,
bits
I'm
of hotels
lost
and
where I am.
restaurants by the mid-90s. For the next 20 years, they now money to high-risk real estate developers, probably called
Okay.
unless you start asking questions that have been noticed, and the new bank should have had to do with as she saw fit.
There we
And
go.
that's exactly what she did for the next decade. Using her ownership of the bank, she hired managers at every level of the organisation who were there purely to do her bidding, and most importantly, to sign off on any loan that she put forward. The loans in question were almost always to one of her own businesses,
Fund my
set up with
businesses,
multiple layers of
please.
abstraction, using dozens, hundreds, even thousands of shell companies to create a web of fraud. Essentially, the average person was depositing their money into the bank, assuming it was safe. It was being used in a variety of lending options to many clients, with meticulous oversight and due diligence to ensure the investments were safe.
This feels like do you remember the South Park episode where Stan's dad took him to the bank to invest his money from his grandma, or from his grandpa, and they're like, and he goes, okay, well, we've deposited your check and it's gone. What? What do you mean it's gone? Oh, well, we've put it in the account, and the account's put it into some investments, and the investments didn't do too good, and it's gone.
And the bubble couldn't pop. This is how banks use your money anyway. For this bank though, that wasn't the case. It was almost all going to Land's businesses. And when I say most of the time, according to the courts, it was discovered that 93% of the money the
Jesus.
bank loaned out over this time period was ultimately to her.
93% of the money was gone to her businesses. 7% was invested the normal way. Jesus Christ.
For every $1 the bank loaned out, 93 cents of it was going to whatever she wanted, with nothing or no one scrutinising a single aspect of the deal. Lan was using the bank and all of its customers as her personal investment fund for a rapidly growing empire of high-end real estate, making her one of the richest, one of the most powerful people in all of Vietnam.
That is insane. But communism works, guys. Communism works. It's fine. That is ridiculous, man. Jesus.
But that's obviously not the only place the money was going, because if there's one thing you can guarantee about criminals, it's that no matter how rich they are, they can't help but take some of the money off the top for non-business purposes.
Yep.
So to go along with the nearly 2,500 fraudulent loans for tens of billions of dollars, just in the dates of 2019 to 2022, she also had her driver take large sums of cash from the bank and store it in her basement. Large? How large, you ask? Well, about 108 trillion Vietnamese dong, which
Jesus Christ!
converts to around $4 billion US.
4 billion. Billion. $4 billion. In cash. In her basement.
An amount of cash that would weigh roughly 2 tons in the largest Vietnamese banknote. So yeah, she had her driver move 2 tons of cash to her basement and just held it there like Scrooge McDuck or Smog in his mountain of gold.
Jesus, this is nuts. This lady is absolutely insane. And my mind is blown by the amount of money.
So when you get to this stage of the story, it's ridiculous and you have to ask, how? How did she manage to do all this without anybody noticing? And the answer, in almost all cases like this, is very simple. If we refer back to the context of Vietnam's struggle with corruption, people in power did know that this was ongoing. In fact, even other banks and real estate development companies knew that it was happening. There was no surprise when she was arrested. Most of the quotes from business owners in the area say everybody knew, as her link to the bank and the incredible liquid cash she had access to made it obvious what was going on.
That's insane! This is good. Yes, communism works so well, you guys. This is, oh my god. Holy shit. Communism works so well, it allows one woman to have a $44 billion scam going on, in which she then takes $4 billion in cash and hides it in her basement.
But due to the level of corruption in Vietnam and her level of power throughout the years with wealth and connections, it was simply accepted and allowed to happen. There's obviously zero way to know how far up the food chain it goes due to the nature of a one-party system, but even on face value of the criminal trial, there are 24 officials, including 12 Vietnamese central bank employees, who were found guilty and will spend time in prison for allowing this to happen.
That's insane.
People whose job it was to investigate who owns the banks or the ownership stake in the newly merged SCB bank, often for a massive cash bribe in the millions of dollars.
Oh, wow. You know what? I think if somebody offered me millions of dollars to look the other way, I probably would have done that too. I never trusted makeup YouTubers in the first place. This, or even less now. This explains the inexplicable growth behind... Yep. She was the fall girl.
After all, there's physically no way you wouldn't notice that this was ongoing for this period of time, for this sum of money. It's a story as old as time. She was basically greasing the right palms and using people's money to grow a real estate business in a highly influential part of Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City. A place whose former party boss is commonly referred to as, quote, the most corrupt official in Vietnam. As a result of this scandal, which is now the biggest financial fraud involving a bank in the entire of Southeast Asia, which is an accomplishment in and of itself, but also one of the biggest fraud cases ever, joining legendary names like Bernie Madoff. The fallout of this situation has impacted Vietnam in a profound way, since her fraud was essentially 10% of Vietnam's GDP, with her also embezzling around $12 billion, which she allegedly funneled into development of her hometown in China.
10% of the entire GDP of Vietnam was this woman's scam. That is insane.
Due to this whole situation, people are going to trust banks less, public funding is being so heavily scrutinised that it's slow to a trickle, Investment of public funds has dried up while additional checks and balances are performed, which will
There was a hell of a lot paid out to other parties, probably even more than she held. Oh, you're right, Fury Kitten.
cause a rush because the money has to be spent by a certain date and result in more problems. The housing market is utterly fucked because real estate developers have pulled out in record numbers. I mean, it's so bad that developments are offering cash and gold bonuses to people to try and convince them to just buy a property, which is a stark contrast to a lot of other places in the world. As for land though, after 104 boxes of evidence weighing 6 tons, 2,700 people who testified,
Let's run that back again.
which is a stark contrast to a lot of other places in the world. As for land though, after 104 boxes of evidence weighing 6 tons, 2,700 people who testified, 200 lawyers, 10 state prosecutors in a trial that started on March 5th, 2024, she was handed a death sentence on April 11th. A sentence that some speculate is a tactic to scare her into returning some of the funds, as the court has ordered her to pay back $27 billion.
Holy shit. So basically it's speculated that they're threatening her with death to keep her, or to get her to pay back the money.
There's obviously very little room for bargaining to get her to return the money, or as much as she has, if they're still going to kill her at the end of it, so this would make sense as a plan. Of course, the Vietnamese government are being heavily scrutinised by foreign media for their lethal injection sentence, but the scandal comes at an inconvenient time for them. After all, they've supposedly been cracking down on corruption for 8 years now, and yet the largest bank fraud in history was operating the whole time they were doing so.
Yeah.
That they were also silencing criticism of the SCB bank, with police rounding up Facebook users who were, quote, spreading false information at the time the investigation already knew funds were tied up in a fraudulent investment.
Oh, interesting. So they were still doing Communist Party things like silencing citizens from talking about the things that are actually true.
And things were going bad. They of course were trying to stop panic, but it still didn't stop a bank run from happening, which is when everybody starts withdrawing their money and the bank doesn't have the liquidity to hand it out. This led to the central bank, who of course we remember let this all happen in the first place, stepping in to bail out SCB with $23.7 billion to prevent a further financial catastrophe. A catastrophe that they are ultimately responsible for. But as it all draws to a close, the official number of people held accountable remains around 85. Lan received the death sentence. Her husband, who is also a successful businessman from Hong Kong, was sentenced to 9 years. Her niece, who operated one of the real estate businesses helping to establish some of the thousands of shell companies, was sentenced to 17 years in prison.
Wow, 70 years. The husband only got 9, but the niece got 70.
And as for the others, 5 former leaders of SCB are in hiding, 45 former leaders, 15 former Vietnamese central bank officers, 3 government inspector officers, and 1 former officer of the State Audit Office were found guilty and sentenced to between 3 years to life imprisonment, depending on their level of involvement. So whether or not any of the money is returned is a huge question mark, much like whether Vietnam manages to get a grip on their massive corruption issue. Either way, one thing is for certain: if this was ongoing for so long, with people knowing and nothing being done, you just have to ask, what else is going on? But for you, the viewer, I pose the question: is capital punishment a harsh sentence for what she did? Some are going to argue that it's barbaric, or that it should be reserved for the most heinous of physical crimes. But on the other hand, while white collar is a crime, this will undoubtedly have impacted far more people than almost any violent criminal in history. One of the largest contributors to self-inflicted exits from life is financial hardship.
True. Very true. Even in culture where that is not really an expected, what's it called? Oh gosh, I hope nothing like that comes to light with the current US administration, because no one can see any corruption there. Right? Oh my lord, the amount of bullshit that's going on in the US right now. Holy shnikes. Oh, just, I am so glad that we're gonna, like, that we have a person like Polyev right now, and the budget vote is this week, thankfully. So hopefully we'll have a no confidence vote, especially with the NSIC COP report. Alright, I need more coffee, so I'm going to be right back. You guys come and you guys go get yourselves some tea or coffee while I'm gone, and I shall put up the music a little bit, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay. Here we are. Hello, hello, hello. Peach and Nectarine Monster Fury Kitten. Interesting. I've never had a can of Monster. I've never had Red Bull either. I used to drink Jolt Cola. Jolt was great. But then they stopped selling it. Jolt Blue was my favorite. So that was my thing. Jolt Blue. So let's see, where are we here? Now we can go back to our Abba and Preach video. Okay. Now we can go learn about the mom with the OnlyFans and the YouTuber that exposed the kid. Which, why would you do that? I don't know. Like, if you don't agree with a mom having an OnlyFans, that's one thing. But like, leave the kid out of it. That's my initial thought before hearing this video. Let's take a listen.
A very important video that happened today. One of the tiers that I have on my Patreon, you can do one-on-one meetings with me. Depending on your situation, depending on if you really need help or not. This is tier 4, right? Costs $500.
$500. $500. Chicken volcano ramen. Ooh, spicy ramen. Yummy. With garlic and shallots. Ooh.
$500 to do a one-on-one meeting with me, people. $500 to do a one-on-one meeting with me, people.
What?
$500 to do a one-on-one meeting with this guy. What are you, a life coach? Are you like why would anybody pay $500 to have a one-on-one meet? Should I be charging $500 to would anybody pay $500 to do a one-on-one? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What?
I wouldn't do that.
Who are you?
He's a YouTuber.
Okay. What does he do?
He does like basketball streams and he talks about like soul and spirituality.
Oh, okay. So he's a life coach guy. He's a life coach dude, and he does like, okay, so basketball, soul, spirituality. Okay.
$500?
I mean, you can charge whatever. You can charge $500 if you wanted to. People would pay.
So, it's this one particular young guy who's going to see this video. He blocked me. So, I supposed to have been doing a one-on-one meeting with him, but he hit me up and he said all he wanted is a birthday shout-out. And I told him, like, man, let's link with a one-on-one meeting so I could chop it up with you for your birthday. I could be like, dude, get your money's worth. You just paid $500 just for me to shout you a birthday shout-out. So, I'm telling him, let's get, put your little fears to the side. Basically, I sent him the link. So, we ended up getting a Zoom meeting. And I guess, like, when you... Dude, the first thing I noticed, I'm reading his energy. It's his birthday. The nigga looked depressed.
So, this guy, I hope he's got the permission of the kid that he's talking about. Because if he's just telling this story, like, I don't like to tell stories about people without their permission. Because that's just, to me, that's... Unless they've, like, completely fucked me over, I'm not gonna, like, I will say, hey, can I tell this? Can I talk about that? Because I think that's, if somebody tells me something in confidence, I shouldn't be, like, blabbing it out on the internet.
And you 16 years old smoking a cigarette, something not adding up. What the fuck have you been through in life?
High school.
Yeah.
Most teenagers are depressed.
High school.
To some degree. You see a teenager smoking cigarettes. I think almost half the teenagers I knew were smoking
High
cigarettes.
school.
Yeah, right? There was one teenager, or one teacher at my high school. She was a educational assistant, and she worked in the resource room. And I said, there was one day I was going through a really hard day. I was 16. I was right in the middle of my depression. My meds weren't working. I was not okay. I was not okay. And I was like, if somebody, when I, as an adult, if somebody ever asked me if I could go back and be a teenager again, I would say no. And she was like, oh, I would love to be 16 again. What are you talking about? You should always want to be 16 again. And I looked at her and I was like, your life must have been amazing as a 16-year-old. And I'm like, and I'm sitting on the, and I said, and my life isn't even as bad as some of my friends. Right? Like, because my best friend had a horrible teenage life. A horrible fucking teenage years. Horrible childhood. But I was like, and even then, I'm like, my life compared to one of my friends' life is fucking sunshine and roses. And I still wouldn't want it repeated. Your life must have been idyllic for you to sit there and be like, I would love to be 16 again. And everybody in the room was like, yep. Facts. Like, nobody was in agreement with this chick. Like, oh, they don't do cola over there very much? Interesting. Red Booster Cola. Huh. Interesting.
What you go through high school. That's what he's going through it. He's going through it. This algebra shit is hitting him hard.
I told him straight up, that if it's anything you want to get off your chest or me to help you with, tell me right now. Because once I'm gone, I'm gone. You get what I mean? Dude straight up put his pride to the side and he kind of got a little emotional. Dude told me he been, this is no joke, he told me he been for the past 4 years. Right?
The blurred out word is self-deletion.
Yeah. He's been thinking about ending it. Because why?
The guy was having self-deletion thoughts.
One of the things I told him when he told me that, I told him you don't have to feel like embarrassed or something to tell me this, because I help people with this shit on a regular basis. Emails, etc. That's my whole point of making a Patreon, is to help you. And I told him, like, I could tell something is bothering you. And he did not, bro. It took me like 10 minutes for this nigga to literally open up and tell me why he. So I want y'all to hear this real quick. I'm about to get straight to the core of what he told me.
But why are you telling us? This is supposed to be something that this is supposed to be something that somebody paid $500 for. Like, if I started setting up things where I'm like, hey, if you want to talk to me, I charge any amount of money, right? Even if it's $50 to sit and have like a 20-minute one-on-one meeting just to like shoot the shit or whatever. I wouldn't then turn around and make a video going, oh my god, do you know what this person paid to tell me? You know what I mean? Like, that just feels wrong somehow. Like, it just feels icky to be like accepting money from somebody, especially a 16-year-old kid, on his birthday, no less, and then like have him, it takes, like, what you're describing takes like 10 minutes to get him to tell you, right? He paid to talk to you, and it took him that long to open up, and then you tell him, and then you tell your platform why after he paid you. I went through early onset puberty, so I was done through it all by 14, so 16 wasn't too bad. But I was still an arsehole. Nothing changed. No, I got diagnosed with depression at 13, and I was 16 was really hard, 15, 16, and it was a combination of chemical depression, environmental issues with stuff at home. Yeah, it was just a shit show for me. The hell?
He said when he was in the 7th grade, he ended up having a situation with a couple guys at his school. Now, it turns out his mom has an OnlyFans. His mom had him when she was 15 years old. He basically said he found out that his mom was like doing that type shit by him watching porn and coming across his mom.
What do you mean he came across his mom? Did her OnlyFans get leaked? Like, is that what happened? Her OnlyFans got leaked?
He said this is how he found out. Now this shit is weird. He even told me he built some type of fish with just checking on his mom's content.
Oh my God!
No, dude, no. That means you had to create an account and get a fucking credit card and subscribe to your mother's account. Why? Why would you do that to yourself? No wonder you're fucking wanting to self-delete. Why would you do that to yourself, my guy? Holy what the fuck? What are you thinking? It may have been recommended. Oh, maybe. But still, like, why would you do that? Ugh. Why would you create an account and pay and subscribe to keep a tab on your mom's shit? What is the matter with you, my dude? No wonder you're suicidal. We do it the other way around, hon. We allow you to sound off and rant to us. That's true. Exactly right. Exactly right, Fury Kitten. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck? No, why are you putting yourself through this, dude?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Preach's mom is back. Preach's mom is here. Preach's mother is here.
Watching porn and coming across his mom. He said this is how he found out. Now this shit is weird. He even told me he built some type of fish with just checking on his mom's content.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's Preach's mom.
My God. My God.
I love when Preach does this shit. Oh my God, it's great. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. Oh. That's not how that works, kiddo. You had to look. Exactly, Fury Kitten. Oh my God. Why are you watching your mom? What kind of Oedipus shit is this? What kind of Oedipus Rex shit is this? What the fuck? Oh my God.
All right.
He basically told me in the 7th grade, it's these two guys that he never really got along with, but they was in the same class. He said one of the guys ended up finding out about his mom.
But that's some bullshit. Again, you don't just find out about OnlyFans unless it's gotten leaked somewhere on Reddit.
He said they used to massacre and hold that shit against him. They used to always make jokes about it. They used to play her audio out loud of her moaning.
How did they get the audio? How did they do that shit? Oh. Irma Gerd, I accidentally subscribed to my sister's OnlyFans. Well, not that shocked.
Like some kitty childish shit.
You can't, that's what I mean, unless the entire page was leaked. Unless the entire fucking page was leaked, there are some kids subscribing to this chick's OnlyFans, including her son, and oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my good lord. Oh my, what the fuck is going on?
This is where it gets worse for this nigga. The whole school ended up finding out that his mama a hoe. And deep down, I want to ask him, who the fuck is your mom? But how am I going to ask him this?
Now, that's what he wants to ask him is, who is your mom? Really? Really?
You fucked up. Anyways.
All right, I'm gonna just play this, bro. Let's get through this.
He said when the 8th grade came, he completely stopped going to school and he used to just like go to his grandma's house. So after him telling me this entire story about everything that happened at his school, as far as his mom being a porn star, etc., I asked him straight up. I said, dude, who's your mom? Like, after he broke down and told me this.
So for five.
Wait. So not only is this guy, I'm not even gonna go and keep harping on how he's even had access to this, but he knows that his mother's got OnlyFans. It's affecting his mental health. Because she's clearly not just doing like Playboy shit. She's doing hustler shit. Okay? So then he pays this other YouTuber $500 to have a one-on-one meeting with him. And he tells him all this shit. And then this guy tells the whole world. Tells the whole world that this kid has a porn star mom. Ba 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 da.
Who's your mom? Like, after he broke down and told me this.
So for $500, you can have your personal stuff used for content.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Preach. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you for pointing that shit out. I cannot believe this asshole charged $500 to a child. $500 to a child. Okay? And then it leaked the child's story to his platform.
It's very difficult to make me speechless.
But who's your mom, though?
I find it so fascinating that someone so obsessed with spirituality is this lacking in self-awareness. Imagine somebody telling you, a teenager most of all, with severe mental health issues is telling you about his stuff in a moment of privacy and confidence, right? And they're telling you why, right? And your main thought is to engage in the exact same behavior that made him want to self-delete.
Yeah, his mom is doing hustler level content on OnlyFans. It's making him upset. We're gonna set aside how he knows what he knows. Okay, we're gonna set that shit aside for now. All right. And we're gonna set aside the fact that that's probably majorly contributing to his mental health issues. But then he pays $500 to talk to this dude and open himself up. And this dude then makes a video and makes content out of his suffering.
If that's not bad enough, against this kid's wishes, you take his story, you take so many details about his life that make him identifiable, and you post the bitch online.
Yeah.
And put ad dollars on it.
Yeah, the fact that he monetized that's fucked up. Like, first of all, that you took a 16-year-old's money. Like, that's not okay. Like, you're, as an adult content creator, you should not be allowing a 16-year-old to send money to you. That's not okay. I didn't hear about that one, Fury Kitten.
So you've monetized a teenage kid's. That is crazy. On so many fucking levels. That is insane.
Yeah. Like, if I knew for a fact that somebody, like if I got a huge amount of money from somebody and I found out that they were 16, I would not feel right about that. I would be like, where are you getting this kind of money to set? Like, what? First of all, why are you watching my content? You're 16. Like, any of my content, my stream, my Mortal Kombat, my commentary, like any of this shit. Why are you watching it? And then, second of all, where are you getting this type of money to send to me? Like, I would not be okay with that, and let alone, I couldn't just sit there and tell, like, I don't want to tell people shit that I know for free on the internet.
Je sais pas bien. Il va-tu dire, il dit-tu le nom de la femme?
I don't know. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the video.
Oh my god.
Like, after he broke down and told me this, that's all I asked, bro. Who's your mom? That's all I said. Who's your mom? Like, dude, I'm not trying to look her up to Jack. I already probably jacked off to the bitch in the past. I'm not.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? I love how he's got that voice inflection. Like, what am I supposed to do other than ask who she was?
I'm not trying to do nothing.
I just remembered that he started the story by saying that the dude blocked him. I just remembered, and I was like, oh yeah.
I might just hit her up and tell her what she did. How she's affecting you. Right now, she's still doing that in her 30s. When I asked him who's his mom, he blocked me.
Yeah, nigga!
No shit, he blocked you. No shit, he blocked you. And that's why you're telling this story. Because you're mad. You're butthurt that a kid blocked you because you asked him who his mom was after he told you all this shit. All this shit. And in fairness, it's probably his mom's whore money. Probably. But still. But then, but of course he's gonna block you. How else are you gonna read that or interpret the question of who's your mom? Other than he obviously wants to look her up. Like, I would have blocked him as well. I absolutely would have blocked him.
Yeah! Yeah, he did!
Mm-hmm.
And you don't get why? You don't understand why? You don't see it?
No.
Why he blocked you?
No, he doesn't see it. That's why he's telling this story online, because he's pissed off. This dude, this adult, this life coach asshole is pissed off that a 16-year-old blocked him after he asked who his mom was. I remember the good old days when porn was found in parkland and hedges and disposed of in ditches and alleys.
The nigga don't exist on my Patreon no more. He's gone. I don't know what happened to him. And this video is for awareness purposes. I'm not making fun of him. I ain't saying no names. I don't even know who he is or his mom is.
Somebody watching this can probably identify this kid. It's not that difficult. And now they're gonna make fun of the fact that this guy's in your video. Okay, I can't watch any more of this. I don't even know if it gets worse. I don't know if it gets better. I don't know. You're a clown. You might be one of the biggest fucking clowns I've ever seen on this platform. And our business is to cover clowns.
Yeah. This shit right here, this type of bullshit is why people tell YouTubers to get a real job. Because of assholes like you that monetize people's suffering and take advantage of people that are not like people that are not able to, you know, like young kids, like kids like that.
I have not seen clown shit on this level in a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Listen, he didn't want to talk about it. You pushed him. He just wanted a birthday shout out. You pressured him to open up to you. Then you listen to this whole traumatic story while he's crying, he's doing all this shit, and you engage. Oh my days. Oh.
Yeah. He just wanted a birthday shout out. That's what he paid for. You pushed him. You're like, dude, you paid for the one-on-one level. Why don't we just do a one-on-one? And then he looked sad, and you're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. Like, you pushed for this shit. All of it. This is insane. Is this the world's longest Yo Mama joke? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh my days. I ain't never seen no shit like this. Never. Listen, there's a discussion to be had about OnlyFans and parents and how it affects the children, and that's a separate discussion that I'd be willing to entertain on a different day. But right now, the only thing I'm think about is the fact that this motherfucker is a content creator who took somebody's money so they can turn them into content and traumatize a teenager. That's the only thing I can think about.
Yeah, the fact that his mom's an OnlyFans creator is almost besides the point right now. Like, the fact that she does hustler content and whatever, what the problem is that this dude monetized this kid's trauma and suffering.
You have any thoughts?
No, none. None whatsoever. You said what you said.
That is crazy.
Yeah, at the beginning, I was finding problems, and it got worse as I was listening to it. And yeah, no, I have nothing else to say. You said everything you said. No, and if I talk, it's just gonna be redundant. So
yeah,
how about we just hand it there? Let's just finish it there. We're good. I'm good. What you gonna add? You gonna add some shit?
Yeah, it's just there's a fascination for me between like this whole like pseudo spiritual people who oftentimes seem to have zero self-awareness.
Lack of self-awareness.
Let me say this. I do Instagram live sometimes, and we let fans come on, and fans come on, they share whatever, okay? And I've had fans tell me, like, bruv, I hear voices and stuff like that, and I don't know, like, I have a hard time adjusting to people. And you know what I say? Go
get help.
Professional help.
Go seek professional help. Not to be like, it's not.
That's what when people come to me in my TikTok lives and they say, I'm losing my sight, what do I do? You know what I say? Go look for the vision impairment services in your area. Go get connected with them. Go get connected with the vision loss services in your area. Go look for counseling specifically related to the loss around disability. Because that is a thing. You do suffer grief when you become disabled. And it's completely valid. I always say that to people. I never pretend to be like, oh, here's what you do. I'm like, go, you are you. You are experiencing vision loss in your way. You need to seek counseling. I remember when Bon Appetit was doing the food and drink articles for Playboy. It was the best part of that skin rag. Bon Appetit actually had a thing with Playboy? That's cool. See, and that's what my page is. My page is like the Playboy level shit. And like, it's not... And because Patreon took away the whole... You can't... Took away the nudity thing on their site. So that's why we started the OF.
Not my lane.
I'm not the one.
I cannot help you.
I'm not the one.
Yep.
And oftentimes I feel like because people have such proximity with content creators, or at least they feel like they do, they come to them with these personal problems that these content creators are not fit to help you with. And sometimes these content creators are too fucking stupid to realize the limits of their capabilities.
Yep.
So they'll start giving them medical advice or all this other stuff. It's like, bruh, know your lane. Know your lane. You got people out here with serious clinical issues who are going to folks who are not only unqualified, but are absolutely arrogant about how little they fucking know.
Yeah. The people that are, you know, like the ones that tell you, oh, I dieted, so you should diet. I went on this type of medication, so therefore you should too. It's like, no.
And then actually make the situation much worse. If this kid was thinking about self-deletion before, imagine how much he's thinking about it now.
Right?
So content creators have to be especially responsible in regards to like one-on-one conversations and thinking you can do shit you cannot do.
No, yeah.
And also to the public, stop going to these people for your advice on things that like...
Very true.
I get it, you need to talk to somebody and that's okay. But it's also okay to actually need help from people who are trained in these fields.
Yes, it is okay to need help. And needing help does not mean you're weak. Does not mean at all that you're weak. My mom worked as a 2-chat operator and met her husband and has been married for 30 years. I used to go to work with her. Most of the night was the girlies chatting at crosswork. Oh, cool.
People come to me and ask me for electrical advice on their building. Bitch, I've never fucking crossed any wires. Why would you come to me?
Yeah.
So you guys also have some responsibility in that regards. But this is a teenager. Jesus Christ. And he didn't even want to come to you for advice.
No, he just wanted a birthday shout out. He didn't even want to talk to you about this shit. He did not want to talk to you about it. He just wanted a birthday shout out. That's it.
You pushed it out of him.
$500 from a teenager. You know what I like? That we have a rule that we don't talk to underage people.
Oh, yeah. If you're a kid, I boot him up.
We flush that shit out real quick.
Every time they join the live, how old are you? 18?
Bye.
Nigga, you lying. Get off. I'll boot them off so quickly.
We don't do this.
No, because I'm not your dad or your mom, and I don't want to have to take on that role.
Yep.
We don't do this.
No. So, I don't know. Anything else you want to say?
No.
It's true though. I don't like. There are teenagers in our town that I love your TikTok lives. I'm like, go. Shoe fly. You're too young. Go away. Like, I can't stop the algorithm from pushing my live onto your phone, but please go away. Like, like, I do not want to engage with teenagers. There was a Course Fishing Monthly mag that used to have a Reader's Wives section. It was essentially a Fisher's Widow's Hookup section. Oh God. That's funny. That's too funny. Yes. Let's see what Twitch chat is talking about. Jesus. Oh, no Twitch chat. Okay. Alrighty. We're going to quickly jump through some question period. I'm going to jump ahead to the English part.
Mr. Pope saying, sure, can he thousand through capital gains? Explain his nonsense, his non-common sense, why profits through capital gains.
Okay. There we go. We're going to start with the English. We're not going to cover all 50 whatever minutes of this, but I do want to cover some of this because the beginning of it was a little bit spicy. So let's pop ahead of this, and the budget vote is this week, so we'll be taking a look at that.
Mr. Speaker, we always knew this Prime Minister was not worth the cost after 9 years, but now his carbon tax cover-up has been exposed. We forced him to release data showing that in addition to the higher bills at the pumps and on home heating that Canadians directly pay in the tax, there's also going to be a $30 billion a year hit to our economy. That's $1,800 in lost wages and higher prices for Canadian families. Now that we've caught them hiding the true cost of their tax, how can we believe anything else they say about any other tax hike?
We literally can't. And I hope that the NDP and the Bloc Québécois take this into account when they vote this week.
The Honourable Minister for the Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, facts are facts, and the facts are that 8 out of 10...
Oh, fuck! Yes, facts are facts! You hid that money from us!
Facts, Mr. Speaker. Climate change is going to cost Canadian $35 billion by 2030. In fact, right now, Eastern Canada is seeing the second heat wave before the summer has even started. People are being evacuated in Northwest Territories. What's the Conservative response? Let the planet burn.
Let the planet burn! Ah! Oh my god, shut up. Seriously. Nobody's letting the planet burn. The planet's not burning. Jesus.
It's immoral, Mr. Speaker. We won't have
it's immoral.
The House. We will work with Canadians. We will help them. We will be there for them. Unfortunately, not the Conservative Party of Canada.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the fanatical rhetoric of that extremist minister won't change anything.
Thank
the reality
you.
is that nor will his carbon tax change the weather. His carbon tax is not going to eliminate a single forest fire, a single drought, a single heat wave.
Thank you. Money does not do anything to the climate cycle. It does, like, you could have every country put every single dollar into a giant pot and be like, this is to fight the climate change, and nothing would change.
All it will do is turn up the heat on Canadian taxpayers. Now we know that their 8 and 10 talking point does not include a $25 billion hit to the economy, which works out to almost $2,000 in lost wages and higher prices for families. Again, if they've been hiding this, what else are they hiding about their other tax hikes?
The Honourable Minister of Natural Resources and Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I noted last week my colleagues' newfound interest in what economists have to say. Will 300 economists across this country actually validate the fact that 8 out of 10 Canadians get more money back? What is appalling, Mr. Speaker, is the complete disregard and ignoring the effects of climate change and the costs of climate change. I don't know whether the honourable member is a climate denier or whether he just doesn't think.
I have seen snapshots of Canadians. I have seen snapshots of Canadian receipts with the carbon surcharge added on them. Is that normal or just some outlets? I think it's normal. I know our heat, we paid like something like, I can't remember how much it was. We paid a whole bunch of extra money in carbon tax for heating the house. I know Pincalo pays carbon tax at the pump.
Climate change is very important, but his willingness to compromise the future of our children is absolutely appalling.
Yep, use the children.
The opposition.
And now that we've caught them covering up the real cost and who will pay their carbon tax, it raises the question about their job-killing tax on home builders, health care, small business, and farmers.
Capital
The
gains.
president of real estate company Remax said it's not true that just the rich will pay. It will penalize average Canadians. The Canadian food professor says that farmers will pay, which means anyone who eats will pay. Right. So, Mr. Speaker, why won't they just clear all this up and accept an amendment to their capital gains tax hike to exclude anyone who's making less than $120,000 in income from paying a single cent in higher tax?
Right, like, and the fact is that a normal average Canadian family cannot sell their house right now without being hit for capital gains tax. Does selling your house mean that you're rich?
The Honorable President of the Treasury Board.
Mr. Speaker, actually a new report out today says that housing starts are up, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, of course they do.
We are now on track to build over 50,000 housing starts this year.
50,000 housing starts. Housing starts.
How many housing units were built, Mr. Speaker? Count them. That'd be 6, Mr. Speaker.
That's because we didn't need affordable housing in the capacity that we do right now because the housing was affordable back then. Isn't that insane?
Wonder about those stats, Mr. Speaker, and on this side of the house we actually have a plan to build housing and they continue to go up, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for La Prairie. Well, we're back to square one in the ongoing saga of foreign interference. One leader says everything's hunky-dory, nothing to see here. Another leader says things are not going well at all, that the house is on fire. Both are asking us to have blind faith in their judgment, but their public statements prove that when the decisions were handed down, at least 2 people were not at home. None of this has helped, but now there's a risk that the Hogue Commission will be called into question if the judge doesn't come to the same conclusions as one of our 2 chatty Cathys. Is it too much to ask to just let the commission do its work?
No? What the fuck is a housing start? I don't know. Does that mean like putting a hole in the ground? Does that mean they want to dig 50,000 foundations? Is that what a housing start is? Like I don't even know what a housing start would be. Like I'm picturing just a foundation hole. That's what I'm picturing.
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the member for La Prairie for his question and for his hard work that we've done together. As I've said...
Yeah, kiss the Bloc Québécois ass. Go ahead.
Have given the Hogue Commission the mandate and terms of reference to look into...
40 years on this planet, I have never heard the term housing start. Me neither.
Issues related to foreign interference and our democratic institutions. We were encouraged by the fact that the Hogue Commission is ready to look into the matters studied by NSICOP. We look forward to collaborating with the Hogue Commission in this regard. The Honourable Member for La Prairie. Well, obviously we wouldn't be in this situation if the Prime Minister were trustworthy in this matter. He has been receiving...
Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck! He just said it out loud!
The intelligence briefings on interference for years. But he himself has admitted that he doesn't even read these briefings. The Prime Minister has...
How much of Canadian power is coal/oil? Isn't that basically called your hydro bill? Why is the government building houses? Because they won't let private companies build houses anymore, Duck Dog. Because the government has decided that private businesses and small businesses and self-employed people are absolute garbage human beings and they shouldn't exist. That's why.
Misreport on politicians under foreign interference in his hands since March, Mr. Speaker, but he still hasn't done anything. But it had to come out in the papers for him to finally take an interest in the matter. It's truly disheartening. How can we expect the public to trust him to be responsible enough to fix his own caucus if necessary? Because he never actually does anything. The Honourable Minister of Public Safety. Mr. Speaker, the member for La Prairie is normally an optimistic politician.
Yeah, that should be a sign, sir, that when the normally optimistic politicians are kind of like, what the fuck is going on here, that maybe you've screwed something up.
Our government has taken this matter seriously right from the get-go. We take foreign interference very seriously and always have. The colleague knows
the term hydro, it's just short for hydroelectric. When we run everything off dams, it's just a fancy word for power bill. I have a gas bill. We don't use oil, but some people still do.
We will work with parliamentarians. In fact, just recently we worked together in this House to pass a very important bill to strengthen our security enforcement agencies and organizations. So that was a partisan question, but we as a government,
That was a partisan question? Aren't all the questions asked in question period partisan questions?
Seriously, to strengthen our democratic institutions against the threat of foreign interference.
From Burnaby South.
It's been 9 long years since the Truth and Reconciliation Report was released. The Prime Minister claimed that the Indigenous communities were his most important relationship. Well, the commissioners today say progress is too slow. The Prime Minister's turned his back on Indigenous people. And every broken promise means Indigenous people have to wait even longer for clean drinking water, for adequate housing, for health care, for the services that they need for justice. So when will the Prime Minister stop turning his back on Indigenous people?
When will you break your coalition with the Liberal government so that we can vote in a different person?
The Honourable Minister for Indigenous Services.
Mr. Speaker, we've come a long
And it's
way.
not even single family dwellings, it's 4plexes, 6plexes, and condos. Ah! It auto-corrected you to condoms, the dictation. The government is building 4plexes, 6plexes, and condoms.
Since 2015. In fact, we've seen an increase of 185% in
Stupid
spending on
dictation.
Indigenous priorities. Just today, I stood with the National Chief who talked about the improvement of the
Oh,
relationship between
shut
Canada
up.
and First Nations people. We made an announcement to
Why
support
did we not
Ontario to
even
deliver
have a
healthcare
First
in the
Nations
Winnebago
minister
health
for this
area for
job?
$1.2 billion, Mr. Speaker. We'll continue to work on reconciliation with colleagues across the country. I want to thank all of the First Nations and Indigenous leaders who are working so hard.
The Honourable Member for Burnaby South.
Okay, he's gonna ask the same question.
Mr. Speaker, 90s.
From Stormont Dundas, South Glengarry.
Last week, only after relentless pressure from Conservatives, the Liberals finally ended their carbon tax cover-up. The numbers show the NDP Liberal carbon tax is going to blow a hole of $30
How dare you ask a politically partisan question from the other side of the house, right? Those bastards.
$1 a year once they fully quadruple the carbon tax. That is nearly $2,000 per family per year. This radical environment minister knew that all along. Instead of publishing the report, he gagged and ridiculed the independent parliamentary budget officer. So the question is whether never-ending tax hikes finally stop, or better yet, will this minister just resign?
No.
The honourable ministers for the environment and climate change.
Mr. Speaker, 8 out of 10 Canadians do better.
Oh, God, stop lying. This is...
And the Conservative Party of Canada, after campaigning to put in place carbon pricing during the last election, now has turned their back on them just as much as they've turned their backs on Canadians, Mr. Speaker. Their only answer to climate change is to ignore it and to let the planet burn. This is immoral. We won't let this happen on this side of...
It is blowing in our Canadian economy. $1 billion tax increase to farmers coming up. Quadrupling the carbon tax to 61 cents a litre on the price of gas. It is out of touch, it is arrogant, and it is punishing Canadians when they need help. Will this minister get with reality? Finally stop increasing the carbon tax? And again, just better yet, fire himself.
The Honourable Minister for Natural Resources and Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On this side of the House, what we have is a comprehensive plan to address the threat of climate change, one of the most comprehensive in the world. We also have a plan for the economy, one that will ensure economic jobs, economic prosperity in a low-carbon world. What is astonishing, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that these folks have neither. They have neither an...
That's not true. We actually went through and looked at the plan last week. Why is it always a white woman?
Mental plan to save the planet from burning. They have not an economic plan, and with the height of hypocrisy, that member over there actually campaigned on putting on a price on pollution. Where were they?
The Honourable Member from Dufferin-Caledon.
Liberals knew that the carbon tax was costing Canadians billions of dollars. They knew and they covered it up. The cost, $25 billion a year. That works out to $1,800 each and every year cost for every single Canadian family.
That's
you wonder
crazy.
why it's hard to pay for things? This is why. If the average Canadian went into work and lied and covered
Let the planet burn seems to be the phrase of the week. It is! That's what they do. Holy crap, we're only 14. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit and see, because I think this is gonna be another repetitious.
Low-performing countries. All the while, they're bankrupting Canadians while these limousine liberals drive around and preach you should just take it. It's all a pack of lies, Mr. Speaker. This environment minister should be fired for covering up the truth of the cost of the carbon tax for Canadians. Will he resign?
The Honourable Minister for the Environment and Climate Change.
Mr. Speaker, I would invite the member to update his speaking notes, which date back to many months. We've just received, in fact, the Climate Scorecard 2024 Government Climate Leadership Award, Mr. Speaker.
Ooh, you gave yourself an award? Fuck off. On that side of the house, you already have a government that is not going to survive the next election. Sorry. And I can't believe they actually just gave themselves an award. Yay! We gave ourselves an award! Woohoo!
Performance in terms of greenhouse gas emission reduction since 2019 in all of the G7, Mr. Country. Something that never happened under the Conservative government of Canada. It will never happen under a Conservative government of Canada.
No, because they didn't give themselves any awards.
The Honourable Member for Mégantic-L'Érable. The radical environment minister must resign or be fired. End of story. First, he misled Canadians by falsely claiming that the carbon tax was good for Canadians from a financial standpoint. Then he hid a study from Canadians, a study conducted by his own department, which proved the opposite. When the budget officer found out, the minister gagged him by preventing him from releasing it and referencing it, and then he tried to ruin the PBO's reputation. The report is clear, though. The economic damage of the carbon tax will cost Canadian families almost $2,000 a year. When will the minister be fired for his economic extremism? The Honorable Environment and Climate Change Minister.
Okay, let me fast forward here.
Full well that pork of English degrees in the North. Canada passed a national climate change adaptation
Oh my god, okay. Is this gonna be the same repetition over and over again? I have a note here written by my department that's saying that we're doing a very good job and we need more money. Yep, exactly. Not one of them have brought up the fact that Trudeau just flew to Italy and then just flew to fucking Switzerland. That's true. That is true. They should be pointing that out. But that's what it looks like question period is today, is the yelling at the environment minister, which they should be doing, but they already yelled at him all last Friday. In fact, we have met all the arbitrary targets that are self-set and are the only people that can accurately measure it. Yes! Yes, Fury Kitten, yes. Oh my god, okay. I need to open my office and air it out and get the children to be doing other things. So I think I'm going to end it here. I've covered the stuff that I wanted to cover. I didn't miss anything, which is good. Finally. I will be back tonight for the combat hour, and I will be doing what's called a Forever King, which means that I will be at the top of the hill, and I will just be fighting different people to try and get matchup knowledge for my tournaments. For Champions of the Realms tomorrow, and for Timeline Tempest next Saturday. Not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after, the 29th. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Come watch tonight on Twitch only. I hope you guys had fun today, and I will see you guys tonight. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'm going to go sit in front of a more powerful fan. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Bye, guys.